1 second. Okay, amazing. I'm gonna share my screen and we can kick off. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. Pretty incredible how far we've come in the last 2.5 weeks. Super proud of a lot of the demos that I've seen so far. So I'm really excited about today. So I'll go over some stuff that we've covered already in the last couple of sessions, and then won't take too much time so that we can finally get into our demo day and see all the incredible demos that people have done. So we've covered this in a bunch of different slides, but if anyone is new, I'm Qasim. I'm the founder of SnapDev with my co-founder Deb, and we've built an AI coding assistant that helps people build production software with the help of one-on-one engineering time. Before this, I started a company called Remote Base, and we screened through over 350,000 engineers. And we basically help US companies hire remote software engineers. And this is one of the projects I'm doing as part of our venture studio. Again, so anyone that's new, it's a SnapCamp is a 2.5 week boot camp, and the idea is to help people build applications that they can deploy with a lot of help with one-on-one engineers, and then helping them move from idea all the way to production. People that haven't written a single line of code, we help them in 2.5 weeks, and we help them throughout the bootcamp to be able to produce real world applications. We had 23 participants as part of this cohort, 4 mentors. Over 105 hours of engineering support was provided, and it's still ongoing. So we are still providing that support to by the end, like all the way to the end of this week. Um, let's quickly skim through these. The reason I'm going through all of this is because all of this is gonna be up on YouTube. So good to go over these details. So for today, we are going to do demos of 12 products. Initially, it was 10. We had 2 wildcard entries. So some pretty cool projects. So 12 products, we will announce the top three. All of you are going to vote for your top three. So please stay till the end. And the structure is going to be 5 minutes. I will be keeping time, 5 minutes of demos, and then 1 to 2 minutes of Q&A. Most Q&A would be in the chat. So if there's no questions, we'll move to the next project. Finalists, we have everyone on this screen. I will start calling out. Eamon, if you can post the entire list in the chat as well. We've posted this in our Slack channel as well. So we'll go through that order. So everyone that's next, please set everything up, open your URL, and make sure everything is running. And then you will be demoing one by one, 5 minutes for the demo and 2 minutes for the Q&A. So prizes. First prize, we're gonna give 1 month free for 5 hours of engineering time plus some credits as well to have whoever wins the first prize. And then for second and third, we're gonna give 2 additional hours of engineering time. This is in addition to all the hours you're gonna get by the end of this week. So if you are one of the winners, you will get more support. And I say 5 hours and 2 hours each will still comp like 1 or 2 hours additional on top of these for the winners, just to make sure that whatever projects that you want, whatever support you want to get from us, we're able to provide that. Thank you so much to Garrett and Cassie, who have been helping behind the scenes, in front of you, helping lead the sessions, giving their feedback, have been super involved in this entire journey. This would not have been possible without them. So really appreciate them. Would love to actually invite them if possible to say a couple of words, and then we can, continue. Garrett, do you want to say a couple of words about this boot camp? Wish everyone a good luck, and then we can sort of move forward.
Yeah, thanks, Kasim. It's been a fun journey going through cohort one building, cohort two mentoring, and then this cohort facilitating. A lot of you have reached out one-on-one. It's been fun to see all of you and your projects grow and being able to be helpful, hopefully, as everyone tried to navigate the back end portion of it, which I know is the most difficult part. So I was sad to miss Friday as I was traveling for a wedding. And so I wanted to make sure I came today to see these awesome projects that y'all got voted to present today. So thanks for having me and excited to see it.
I'll chime in a little bit, Kasim. It's just been such a pleasure watching this cohort three go through their process. And I love how we have such a mix of people, from people who've never coded before on the business side to people who, have been career product leaders and are discovering their internal builder flame, I'll say. And so it's just, it's a privilege to just be able to kind of bear witness to all of you going through this process and seeing all the cool things that you've built. And so just thank you to all the participants, and can't wait to see demo day.
Yeah, I'm also super excited for all the demos, so should be fun. Um, and then obviously thank you to all the mentors, Gal, Danny, Sean, Ankita. They've been monumental, not just in helping people, scheduling calls, providing their feedback, but being so involved day in and day out with SnapDev and how things are, progressing. So really, really appreciated. Would love to, continue working with you all. So, thank you so much for being a part of this journey. I will message all of you individually, schedule calls, and see how we can continue. And then, of course, Ha, who has been supporting us from day one and helping us, be our chief evangelist and, spreading the word, helping us with partnerships, with, working with a lot of amazing product managers. So big shout out to her. And then, of course, our core team, Osama, Ali, Zain, Tayyib, and Ayman. Osama, who has probably been up since since this cohort started. So thank you for, making sure everything runs smoothly, taking care of the engineering side, the product side, pretty much running everything behind the scenes. So big shout out to him. And then, of course, Ali, Zan, and Tayyib, who have been working, and Ayman, who has also been spending 10 to 12 hours every day, just making sure everything is sorted, smooth, running all the operations behind the scenes. So we have a pretty large team considering the cohort size. So would love to, thank each and every one of them. And then all the support engineers that we have, so everyone working behind the scenes. It's been incredible, working with you all. So thank you for all the support. Okay. So before we get into demos, a couple of things. So all deployments and your projects are going to remain active and live for the next 1 month. So it will be live. You don't have to worry about it. The only thing that will be deactivated today, as I've mentioned today earlier, is the Claude API keys, which are going to get deactivated at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. You will still have access to the Gemini key, so you can continue using that to build your projects by end of this week. By end of this week, when I say end of this week, I mean Sunday. That's what was requested, and you will still get the engineer support by the end of this week. So the only thing that's going to get disabled is the Claude API key by tonight. Anyone who has not used their 5 hours of engineering time can still schedule sessions throughout end of this week. We've already mentioned our moving forward, how you can work with us. So if you want to still continue getting the engineering support, we have the 2 hour engineering support package as well as the 5 hour engineering support package. If you don't want one-on-one engineering time, and if you want to use your own API keys, you're more than welcome to do so. And you don't want to deploy your projects, you're more than welcome to continue building using SnapDev project tools, free of cost. You can just bring in your own API key, just message Osama, me, or anyone, and we can help you set that up. And if you want to just not, if you just want to deploy your project and have some API keys to build, that's the starter package. So I've highlighted all of these. If anyone has any questions, please send me a DM over Slack. Referral program. So referral program I mentioned. So initially it was 2 hours per person, whoever would refer someone to the next bootcamp. Now we're upping it to 5 hours. So basically 1 month of free SnapDev subscription for 5 hours over the next 1 month. So you'll get that 5 hour subscription plus the API keys. So please refer as many people as you can. And then most importantly, fill out the feedback form. Only I think less than half of people have filled it out. That would really, really help us improve the experience. So this is the link to the feedback form. Please, if Eamon, you can post it in the chat as well, that would be awesome. We've updated the UI builder as well, so you can update it. It has a couple of new features. We'll continuously keep building and improving our products. So thank you for using them and providing feedback. With your feedback, we will continue iterating and improving. And with that, I think, yeah, so we've already highlighted the next SnapCamp. There's an interesting thing we're doing. So if any of your friends want to do a lightning course, we're hosting a, sorry. Okay, so we're hosting a lightning course that if anyone wants to join or their friends want to join, this is free of cost. So we're going to just help people set up their UI builder and create prototypes of any idea that they have in this lightning course. It's going to be 2 to 3 hours only, which and it's on October 9th. So great way for people to just build prototypes, not functional backends, but the prototypes for free. Hosting it again, we'll share the link in the chat. And with that, I've hopefully covered everything within 15 minutes. So super excited to start the demos and see what people have built. So thank you everyone for being a part of this cohort. Oh, one last thing. This is not the end of, like, nobody's getting kicked out of the Slack channel. Everyone is still going to be part of the community. If anyone wants to reach out to me, I'm still available. So this is a lifelong thing. Even if you become a member or not, get a subscription or not, you still have access to me. You still have access to your pods. You still have access to the community, and you still have access to the softwares that you have been using. You can just use your own API keys if you don't want the memberships. And if you do want the memberships, I've already highlighted how those work. And with that, let's get into what everyone is super excited about. Let's see demos. So Nora, if you could share your screen and let's start. I will take time. I will tell you when you're done with your 5 minutes, and then yeah, I will keep giving you, letting you know when it's 5 minutes and when it's 7 minutes. Are you on the call, Nora?
I'm here, ready.
Awesome. Let's get started.
Awesome. So, hi, everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Nora, and I'm here to share more about glycopow today. So, just for some background, this idea came from a very personal place. My dad has diabetes for over 10 years now, and I've been a co-giver with my mom for the past 10 years. So, managing his nutrition has always been a challenge, not just knowing what's healthy, what he should eat for the next meal, but also finding tools that actually work for him. So most of the app that I found today are actually built mainly for macro counters or fitness enthusiasts. They feel with complicated workflow, barcode canning, and waiting food, which is really overwhelming for my dad, who's older, not very tech savvy, and just wants something really simple. So after I interviewed my dad and several other diabetes patients, there are three biggest pain points that came up again and again. Number one, logging is too complicated. People give up after just a few days. Number two, feedback is generic. They don't know what to change, just that they over their carb limit. And the third pain point is that consistency is hard. Without reminder or a coach, people fall off track. So let me introduce you to Glycopow. And our solution essentially, oh, 1 second, I think. Shane. Perfect. Awesome. Can you guys see the landing page? Perfect.
Yes.
So our solution is a trusted diabetes companion. GlycoPal make logging really effortless. You just talk or snap a photo, and then it's instantly translate into trusted nutrition data and real-time coaching so that the patient can stay accountable and drive behavioral changes. So let me just show you how it works. So here's the onboarding flow. The setup usually takes just a couple of minutes. User would enter their basic information like their age, their height, their weight, and whether or not they're looking to maintain weight or lose or gain weight as well. And for the next step, we actually automatically calculate the targets in terms of calorie and carb using ADA clinical guideline. But user can also enter their custom target if they may have received guidance from their clinicians. And then after this one. And then once they onboarded, this is the daily dashboard that you're seeing here. So user can see their target for carb, protein, fat, and calorie with progress updated in real time. At iScore, you can see that it would show the meal you already logged for the day. So now let's say that I'm about to eat dinner and I want to log what I'm eating. I can actually click here and log a meal using a photo or voice. For example, I can actually say, for dinner today, I have 2 cups of rice, a cup of chicken, and some broccoli. And you can see that the app instantly transcribed the voice. And then once I click lock meal, it actually recognize the food automatically, look up nutrition from the USDA database and lock the meal automatically. Notice that it's not just tracking, it's actually coaching me as well. For example, it's telling me that, I'm exceeding my carb limit so that I should consider swapping the rice for some vegetable. So, and then right now you can see that it don't, if the user doesn't provide a portion, for example, like broccoli, when I say earlier, the app will default automatically to the common adult portion size, but the user can easily make adjustment as needed here. In the future, I do plan to introduce what I call smart portion detection and confirmation. For example, the app could ask the user something like, hey, half a cup of rice is about the size of a cupcake. So they be able to translate that into common objects so that it helped them make estimate for portion size much easier. So let's say when I save the meal here, you can see GlycoPal automatically track the meal, but my intention for GlycoPal is that it's just not going to be reactive, right? It's proactive. If it look like you're trending over your carb limit, the app will automatically send out a reminder close to your meal time to make sure it remind you. For example, it will say something like, try to keep dinner lighter on carb so that you can stay within your target. Finally, here's the weekly progress report. It actually highlights carb adherence, consistency, and key insight like portion control or logging more consistently. Patient can get these feedback, but they can also in the future share this report with their clinician for better care management. And lastly, I just want to touch on how we think about monetizing this. The first one is premium subscription. Patient can pay for premium AI insights and report. On the clinical side, I would love to be able to explore clinical partnership where physician and insurer can use this app to improve adherence, reduce complication, and cut costs. And that's it. Thank you so much. And I hope that this app can help both my dad, but also millions of people worldwide manage their diabetes better.
Wow, Nora, this is beyond incredible, and you finished in time as well. So amazing job. Everyone, please take notes because you will be voting at the end. And if anyone has any questions, please speak up or you can post in the chat. But this is beyond incredible, and the UI is so amazing. Yeah. So anyone has any questions, and then I have maybe one question. Okay, no question. Nora, how much time did you spend throughout this bootcamp roughly per day?
Yeah, I'll say usually I spend about mostly my weekend time. I say I spend about 10 hours on the UI, like the front end. And then the back end, I would say closer to 25, 30 hours. A lot of it actually today, and I really want to give a shout out to many support engineer as well as Usama today. They hop on call today with me a few times. and spend a couple of hours with me to actually get my app deployed to production. So really huge shout out to them as well, and appreciate it. But honestly, I've been reflecting on this, and it's incredible with just spending about 30 to 40 hours. And like I work in product for 10 years, this probably would have taken, you know, someone probably 6 months total to build this. So it's actually incredible that I can do this on the weekend just in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, it's you've made some incredible progress. So amazing job. We have a couple of questions and maybe 30 seconds if you wanna answer them. It's in the
Yeah,
chat.
so yeah, it's say tested already. I actually have a very funny story. I actually showed Dad, and he didn't say anything about the nutrition, like how smooth the UI is. The only thing he told me is that, you know, his accent is terrible, so his pronunciation is really bad. So he actually asked, Nora, can you actually just let me speak in Vietnamese? So my fast follow, I've been looking into actually using OpenAI Whisper technology. So it actually allow any patient to just speak in their native language and be able to then transcribe it into English and get the nutrition as well. So that is my dad's first feedback.
Hey, Nora,
Awesome. Amazing.
something that would be super cool is like if you could take a photo of what you're eating and use some sort of like a VLM to analyze the photo and then kind of figure out what the things are and also estimate the portions would be super cool.
Yeah, so Danny, I don't know you see early, that's V2. When I click lock a meal, it actually have photo mode or voice mode.
Oh, I missed
So
that. That's awesome.
yeah. So the voice is gonna come. I've been looking into. It's a little trickier because with 2D image, it actually not that accurate to do portion like estimation and nutrition.
Mm,
But I've been looking into some technology potentially if you can do like a 3D capture or even a video. So definitely coming soon.
awesome.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much, Nora. So next we have Celeste. Celeste, if you wanna share your screen, and after
Yeah.
that we have Ida. So let's okay.
All right.
Let's start.
Um, okay, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start now. So, good day, everyone. My name is Celeste, and I'm the founder of AI Augmented. My work is focused on one question. In a world where AI is powerful enough to replace jobs, how do we as leaders use it not as a replacement, but as a tool for humans to strengthen our core critical thinking competencies and probably secure our relevance in the future? So this is not a future problem, but it is a silent challenge happening right now. A very quiet corrosion of our professional, especially mid to senior professional judgment. Recently, MIT have a name for it, for a situation like this. It calls cognitive outsourcing crisis. What that crisis feels like is a new subconscious imposter syndrome. It is that nagging voice asking, is this my real conviction? Or am I just approving the machine best guess and answers? That flicker of doubt is the gap where mistakes are made. And it leads to the single biggest risk of our job today, probably the future as well. So every AI generated strategy or answers has a one weak point or points. Your job is to find it before your boss does, probably before your boss really find out. So our philosophy here is that this is not a human versus AI. Our entire system is built on a specific combination. What AI expertise provide is speed, data, the ability to spot patterns. And what human lack is the structured, liable way to challenge that output. So when we combine them together, the professionals become a truly formidable strategist, using AI as a sparring partners to make their own judgment bulletproof. So now that combination is exactly what we built, exactly what AI augmented all about. And here is the precisely how our AI agents scaffold your thinking. So let's dive into it. You can sign in. And you will land to this dashboard. In this dashboard, you have the ability to change your name, or probably Lily Chan, and you will see the immediate change on the top right corner. And also in the chart later, I will show you. So now you can begin to create your own workspace. Probably in your workspace currently, let's take a scenario. Let's take a messy high stake goal, like what is your go-to market strategy for Silicon market? So for now, just put Silicon market. And what is your current stage, or what is the problem that you're facing right now? So say, for example, the local competitor are locking us out. And what do you want to achieve out of this? It is probably to win a high performance niche, just for example. Under here, you can actually put in all your other struggles, but these are optional. So then now you can proceed to create. You will land to this exploration map. On the left side, you have all your agents ready for you. You can toggle on and toggle off. If you toggle on, you can see the agents that activate over the right-hand side. Example, I have 2 agents, 3 agents. So now we only have 1 activated. Once you're selected, you can collapse and then start working with the agent. So let's say I put a question. What's the GTM go-to-market for Chinese Silicon market, for example? So I start talking to my co-pilot, strategy co-pilot. They will say, okay, this is my output. And I can continue to ask questions. Right? So after you agree or you not agree, you can continue to spar with your agent and continue to ask questions. So in this chatbot, you also have the ability to upload your document. So analyze the doc. So it will analyze the doc accordingly. And throughout this section, you can actually upload your document, PDF, doc, Excel, and JPEG. So after you have all the conversation and you decided that, okay, I really like your idea here, and I would like to add to the map. So you have 1 note here. If you add agent to the map, you have who is sparring with you, and the agent name will appear. So let's say I also like my own idea. So I will have this note that's come from chat. If I were to add this, then we have a document. Probably throughout the conversation, you will have a lot of document uploaded. You will have a lot of information here and there. So yeah, so just that. Let me add it in.
1 more minute, Celeste.
All right, and then you can connect the dot and everything. And then after you have everything settled, and it seems to be now you can see like probably like 5 notes. If you went throughout the conversation, you probably have 40 notes, 50, 60. It's going to be messy. Then you can actually go to this part here to consolidate your notes into a 1 to 2 pages of reports. So you will land to this report. Throughout this report, you have paragraph, you have everything, information collected. And here they will show you what are the notes and what is connection. You can edit, you can save, and you can also export to PDF here. And then when you go back, and you've done everything, and you go back to your dashboard, you have your information with memory there. And then if you go back to home, you will have the system will remember you as our regular users. So yeah, that is my project.
This is super awesome. Amazing job, Celeste. Let's take questions in the chat, and please, Celeste, like also yeah, in the chat, like talk to people about how you did the UI. We're out of time, so maybe you can post in the chat.
Sure.
Amazing. Thank you. This was awesome. And then we have Ida next.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Zoom is covering my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Ida. So 14 years ago, almost to the date, I was back traveling after my second maternity leave for work, but I had those last 10 pounds to lose. Now, I really wanted to stay on my nutritional goals, but it was almost impossible. My routine was ridiculous. I'd open up my FitnessPal, see how many calories I had left for the day, go to Around Me app, try to find nearby restaurants with the hopes that they had menu items with nutritional data. So finding my healthy eating options was like detective work. But this is where Calorie Quest fixes this. So Calorie Quest is for anyone who wants to eat better in real life. It answers what's nearby that fits my goals. And it's not another logging app. We actually will complement all logging apps. Logging apps are trackers for nutritional diaries. Calorie Quest is for nutritional discovery. Now, right away, we make it seamless to enter as a guest, where a guest can quickly select from pre-selected calorie ranges, or they can enter in their own custom range for what they're looking for that day. They can also select from the distance they're at that moment in time, whether it's 1, 3, or 5 miles. In my case, I was either always at an airport or a hotel. Right away, you can actually see the matching items per restaurant that's nearby. So you can see the qualifying items that meet my calorie ranges as well as the range of how far it is from my current location. Once I click on one of the restaurants, I also immediately see the information I'm looking for in terms of the calories and also some additional nutritional information. So again, there's no more menu digging and decision fatigue. Now, also 14 years later, I do track a little bit more than calories. I also like to see my macros. So I'm easily displaying the fat, protein, and calories, keeping in mind that this is for fast, easy use to get in and out of the application. Now, one of the things as a logged in user, we do provide you a little bit more flexibility, or I should say optionality, in terms of being able to save your preferences for future use. So today we support sign in with Google. And what you'll see as a sign in member is you'll be able to select your preferences and again, see that your preferences save your calorie ranges and your search distance. Now, in addition to that, we also have the option for an auto search on login. So as a logged in member, the next time that you log in, you will automatically land on your results versus having to go to the filter page. So again, this is for instant, immediate results. So we will also support some gentle re-engagement in terms of, for example, it's lunchtime, you use Calorie Quest, you will receive a notification to remind you to use Calorie Quest to keep on track of your nutritional goals. So again, Calorie Quest is not another food diary. We actually work with food diaries and we will integrate with food diaries. Calorie Quest is a decision engine. It takes users instantly from I'm hungry to I'm ordering right now. And it gives them options in less than 30 seconds. They can open, filter, pick their restaurants, and choose what items fit their nutritional needs. Trackers, again, are for what I ate, while Calorie Quest is for what I want right now nearby that meets my needs. So as you've seen, right, Calorie Quest for consumers offers speed and clarity for their nutritional goals. As restaurant industry, we also provide deep insights and unique insights that no other applications provide. So you can see here, based on the actual consumer behavior And the way that we will monetize this application is, for example, as a McDonald's partner, they will see this dashboard where they can easily see market share. They can see what their competition is doing and how consumers are using their menu items. They're actually able to see, for example, the calorie range demand. So McDonald's can see that 400 calorie options is in demand, but they only have 15% of that market share. They can also see how their restaurants are performing and the type of searches that are happening based on those areas and locations. They can also have menu optimization suggestions to say, we know that 400 calories is increasing in these areas, and we can provide them insights and suggestions of how to optimize their menu items. Again, you can't get this data insights from some of these other tracking applications. This is unique to Calorie Quest. Now, we will be starting off with just some national food chains, as national food chain data is reliable today and easily accessible. Our experience will offer a less than second time to answer, and our data structure is also ready for additional dietary filters. So it's usable today for consumers for monetizable insights tomorrow. Now, we are also on a social mission. One of the things that we want to make sure that we give back is donating some of our profit margin to hunger relief. Because as a reminder, food choices are a privilege. So we will help people make better food choices and help more families have actual food choices. So Calorie Quest turns a frustrating multi-app scramble into a less than 30-second answer for what's nearby that fits my nutritional goals. Users win healthier decisions. Restaurants win with real-time demand signals. This is Calorie Quest. Thank you.
That's pretty incredible. I did so complete end to end, like amazing job. Congrats. We can maybe take one question because we have 10 seconds. Anyone wants to ask any questions? Celeste, we have a bunch of questions in the chat, and yeah, let's continue. Thank you so much, Ida. Amazing, brilliant job. Please answer the questions in the chat. If anyone has questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat. This is super cool. Okay, perfect. So next up we have Rinze, and then after Rinze we will have Timothy. So Timothy, please be ready with your demo. So Rinze, do you want to take over? I think he is missing. Okay, maybe we can start with Timothy then. Timothy, do you wanna share
I think
your screen?
Arinze is sharing right now.
Oh,
Yeah, Kasim,
yeah.
Arinza is sharing screen.
See?
Arinza,
Okay.
you're muted though.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
Arinza, let's start. Sorry, I couldn't see that. Okay, awesome. Let's get started.
So a bit of background. I'm a medical student, and I often chat to patients, and they explain how they wish there was like easier contact with doctors, being able to find out their information as well, and also just ask questions. And so I built this. I've titled it Era because I think it's a new relationship with health, a new era, and so that's why I've given it that name. And so the way you interact with this is you select the upper body or the lower body, and I'll come on to the other general health changes in a second. But then you interact. So I think visual cues are often better than just the questioning. Then the intensity of the symptom can be ranked. You add a bit more information, and you can also say it with the mic. Then this aspect is like essentially I'm trying to get AI to think like a doctor. So based on what you've given it, it then asks you more questions and you feed the answers. Keep going. And then based off of everything you've given it, it generates a conclusion and it tells you what's going on and the next steps. how much is it affecting your daily living, sleeping? Fine. And then it generates a sort of report, gives you what it thinks going on, and then what to do next, and also recommends like a doctor to come and overview what you've presented with. And it might take a while to generate the report. Whilst we're waiting for that, I also added like a chat bot and I called it Tell Us, because I feel as though that is like invoking or evoking sort of communication. So if you want to understand any of the things it says in here, like bacteria, you then message the chatbot rather than waiting and having to search. So it gives something like this, a summary of what you said, and then call the NHS 111, accept, and then it gives you like a general health update. And this goes to overview, logs the experiences you have here, and then if we go back to the first page, you can see that it's logged that you've or it's registered that you've identified symptoms in this area before. And then also with like other changes you can't necessarily signify or point out on the body, you can, for example, the skin, you can then add a photo for a rash, upload it, and then it will do a similar sort of thing. We have medications. Here I integrated some AI features. So let's Cinepro. So then it generates the use cases, you give the dosage. I'd probably add like a drop-down menu here, and then you add medication, and then it gives you the reminders over here with the time. And then also there's an AI safety. It's not quite functioning well yet, but then it give you like interactions, what to avoid and what to do, say if you experience say like an infection when you're having medication, which for example, it gives you immunosuppression. Then with the family section, so this is very important. So oftentimes people can get ill or have surgeries and or have things just going on with them and with their health, and they want their family to be up to date, but not with everything. So I've allowed them to share specific details, whether it's a medication, the appointment, so they can just give you a friendly nudge for a reminder, and then you enter their details. Put that in, and then it logs them here. And you can also change they're allowed access to down the bottom here. Fine. There is also an explain section where you can interact with some sort of like medical textbook, and it sort of gives you a bit dumbed down explanations, I would say, of things, because oftentimes endoscopy, you don't want to know like the ins and outs of it. You want to know or get a general overview of what the process is, and then it gives you like a small illustration. I think the best one was for hypertension because it shows like normal pressure, high pressure, and it explains that pretty nicely. It says water flowing through a garden hose, and that's pretty good. And then finally, just the last feature is when you go to your profile, it give you your like birth, your height, certain measurements, and then family members with different conditions, because this is also key for doctors, and it would be the AI in this instance thinking, oh, what could be going on? Because your mother and your maternal grandfather had type 2 diabetes. Could you have type 2 diabetes? And just thinking through that. And then you can add more family members here, the age of onset, etc. And yeah, that's my product.
That's awesome. Is this meant to be like a personal tool for people to navigate with and then connect with healthcare providers? So some level of, here, doctor, here's all the information I have to give you, so you don't have to ask me a bunch of questions and take all this time, read this, and then let's chat kind of thing.
Yeah, so I want it to be like a two-way product, but patient facing.
Mhm.
So the doctors have like an oversight of what's going on. but you're essentially like being streamlined by AI and supported as much as you can be.
That's awesome. Last question from me on this. Like one of the things I ran into at Airbnb was we had a super complex array of issues that could happen, and it was really hard to train our front teams on how to identify the primary issue when like 10 things would be happening at once. So we were trying to push this differential diagnostics flow to present to people up front taking the information in to try to help guide them to determine the root cause to their problem. Is there any thought of a diagnostics tool like that to help guide people as they think through what's happening? Because I think about the joke of the person who goes into the doctor and they say everything hurts. And he's like, poke here, poke there, poke there. And they go, your finger's broken.
So that's why I like try to integrate the NHS sort of AI clinical reasoning into it, because usually how I'm taught medicine is like common things are common, but there are certain things you want to rule out. So emergencies, you'd rule out, think through those, and then based on the patient demographic, you would then work through, ask a few certain questions to rule out or rule in conditions, and then proceed from there. And then the doctor can ask for like extra follow-ups.
Super cool. Love that.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's move to the next one. I think we are at 9 minutes. So, great job, Rinze. Timothy, do you wanna take over?
Yeah, one moment. Is my screen visible? Okay, I'll start. Hi everyone, I'm Timothy. So for this, my product is a AI copilot, tutoring copilot, not for the teachers, not for the students, but for the teachers. So in Singapore, just for some context, tuition is a billion-dollar industry. Parents are willing to spend a lot on educations. They are willing to spend on tuition fee. But if you talk to the teachers, the tutors, and tuition center who may be teaching like 15, 30 over students, you'll hear the same pain points is that they spend a lot of time outside of class actually preparing for the worksheets, preparing for the lesson plans, marking student grades, and they also have to prepare for the parent updates, usually over WhatsApp late night, and each student has a different learning styles. So generic material won't be very suitable. So this is where Coach Lee comes in. And in the past 2.5 weeks, I've used SnapDev to build 3 main parts of the Coach Lee app. So I just did a login. The first thing that you see is the dashboard, where you are able to look at the lesson plan generator and worksheet generator. This is where tutors can generate questions, quizzes, worksheet, and answer key that are aligned with Singapore Ministry of Education syllabus in seconds. So this saves them a lot of time. The second vertical is the parent updates, where teachers are able to just drop the notes that they have after teaching a student, and then the AI will generate something professional in seconds that the teachers can use to send over to the parents. And the last part is the student insights, which is tightly coupled with the updates that are stored in this application as well. So the teacher will be able to compare against the different students, see how they are progressing, see who needs help, and see the AI recommendation. So if I go and generate a lesson plan, I can just enter a title, subject I can choose, mathematics, for example, primary 6 fractions. The AI will generate, so the generation happens behind the scene. It is asynchronous, so the teacher doesn't have to wait for the AI to complete generating before they can look at other things. They can do other things asynchronously. So if I look at the lesson plan that was already generated earlier, for example, these decimals, the AI will generate the questions and also answer key. The teachers are able to edit these questions with the rich text editor. They can add math equations. They can insert images. If, for example, it's a geometry topic, they can add MCQ. They can make it bold and all that. And they can use AI to maybe change the difficulty, increase the difficulty. Okay, this is not implemented yet, but this is in progress currently. And if they click outside of the box, they are able to exit and cancel from the editing mode. Okay, so that's for the lesson plan. For the parent updates, the teacher can add the student name, for example, Sarah Antonio. And for Sarah, they can just add an update, for example, very good at math, did very well in math today. And the AI will create the update accordingly, which the teachers can just copy over and send over to WhatsApp. In the future, there may be some WhatsApp integration, but currently, for the MPP, it's not yet in scope. And the last part is on the student insights, which is tightly coupled with the progress, because the progress, you can see it chronologically. So the application will be able to track the progress of each student, the average score, is it trending up, whether they are good at which topics, where are the areas of improvements. And the AI is also able to generate recommendation. Maybe this student is struggling with algebra, so we should generate algebra of certain questions that they keep on missing, that this student keep on missing. Yeah, so that's basically it. So Coach Lee, for Coach Lee, my goal is to help tutors save time and help parents feel confident and also help students succeed. Yeah, thank you.
That's super cool. Especially love the teacher part where they can adjust and add. And that helps probably combat some use of AI where the students then have to go into that system to then do the work. Any questions from the group?
I mean, I think this is really great. I lived in Singapore for a couple of years and I kind of saw how involved parents are and how anxious they are, but not wanting to appear anxious. So, like the whole parent communication, I think, is just great. Really well done.
Thanks, Rupiah. Thanks, Garrett. Yeah, and I think teachers after class, they are feeling exhausted and sometimes they also forget to provide the updates. So this kind of helps in that aspect. Yeah, and parents in Singapore spend a lot on education, really.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how much, like, what would the pricing be like? What would the price point be?
I think each student tuition fee is like $700 to $900 Singapore dollars. So yeah, per month. So that's a lot. And they have a lot of tuition. Tuition center is like booming here.
Arvinzi, did you mean how much Timothy would charge? Or
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood your question. I haven't really thought about the pricing yet. So maybe it will be a subscription model, or maybe it could be like AI top-up kind of model where the teachers, they can top up a certain amount of credits similar to SnapDev, and then if they use up, they can top it up again because the AI keep on consuming the credits based on the usage.
Amazing. Super extensive, Timothy. Like, pretty incredible. You did this in 2.5 weeks. Okay, amazing. Let's move to the next person, which is Jack. And then after Jack, we have Prema and Colin.
All right. Let me share my screen.
For context, Jack joined the cohort a few days later and also did not do the work before the cohort started. So he had more like 2 weeks or less.
Yeah.
So amazing
A
job.
little less. Yeah. So this was I had a little less time. So I tried to simplify my scope of my project just to try come up with something very simple that would enable me to sort of experience how to actually code and deploy something within a 2-week time frame. So My project was targeted towards people who are collectors, specifically people who collect movies or music or even books. For my specific use case, I targeted people who collected movies and trying to solve the problem that if users are want to keep track of, they have extensive collections and they're trying to keep track of all the content that they have. How do they easily do that? Right now, they might have to actually enter all the information manually, keep it in a spreadsheet. And so how can you get rid of that friction and enable people to actually track what they have and also be able to just share it with other people who might be interested in the content that they're collecting. So again, for this use case, it was specifically targeted around film. So the concept here is if you have a collection, now all you need to do, rather than entering all the information manually, you can just take a photo of the actual items that you have. So in this use case, the user already has an image, so they would upload an image. I'm just going to take a sample here. It would detect the titles here on the left side. And then as you can see here, it's not perfected, that it's still picking up some titles that are not correct, but now I can just delete those. So I'm only going to pick the ones that are actually titles here. So I'm deleting these and these. So now I just have the actual titles that I want. So I can continue with the 5 titles. And hopefully it's going to work here, which I'm going to retry that again. So let's just try that again. This is the fun part about a live demo. And we're going to get rid of the extraneous titles here. And we'll do that. And we're going to continue with the 5. And doesn't seem to be working, although it was working when I tested it earlier this morning. So the idea, though, is that once you uploaded the titles, that you would have all the information available in catalog along with all the data and information about the movies, and then you could go ahead and share it. But for some reason, it doesn't seem to be working at this very instant. But anyways,
Jack, do you have the Loom video?
sorry?
Do you have a Loom video?
I do not. I can see if I can actually maybe just do this on my local host. Why don't I do that? Yeah, okay, let me just try one more time here and just do it on the local host. So we'll do that here. Let me share my screen and we'll see if this is working again. Okay, so here we go. Let's try this one more time. So we are going to upload the same photo. And oop, there, it's not working here either. All right. So, but here it was, you can see here from the catalog that if it did upload the images, you would then have all the images, all the information here. Then you could actually click into each title. It would have the greater details. I could go in and edit the information if I wanted to, save changes. I could go back to the catalog. Then if I want to actually share this, I can actually take this image here and then share it. I'm able to share it via text or email. I have the PDF image of it. So that's it. Thanks.
Awesome. Jack, since you joined a little bit later, feel free to like continue using the engineering support for a couple of extra days just to make sure
Great.
everything's running.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Great project.
Jack, I was gonna ask what prompted that idea.
It was actually just I was just doing it within the scope of the time that I had, realizing that I had started late and was trying to come up with something very simple. That's what sort of so I basically started from that perspective, and then what customer problem or what could I do to actually develop a feature that I could create within this 2-week time frame, knowing that there probably will be a lot of things that are not going to go as planned, and then how can I troubleshoot it? So so that was really it. I was just trying to come up with a very simple customer problem that I could solve. Yeah. There's, as far as like, there's no plan for like monetization or anything around this. This is just more of a hobby project.
Awesome. Perfect. Next up we have Prima.
All right.
And everyone, please continue taking notes because you will be voting at the end. We should be done in the next 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
The,
Okay.
the Zoom window is covering though.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. All right. How about now?
Yeah, you can move it further down. It's still covering the lower right, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay, so how many of us have gone to LinkedIn and sometimes feel frustrated that you can't quite ask the questions directly? And you would assume that LinkedIn will actually have an AI assistant already. But I'm sure they have their reasons why they don't, and I'm sure it'll come in sooner. But as I was thinking and talking to a number of my friends, and including my own experience, whether you're doing a consulting work or want to find connections, expand your network, or even find a job, you want to know whom you're reaching out to, where are your strongest connections, and more importantly, how do you prioritize whom you reach out to based on commonality? With that said, that was how this idea was born. A lot of it is still in the works, but with that, let me say I'm already an existing user. So I'm going to sign in, and it should ideally take you to your settings page where it shows you provided your name, your LinkedIn address, your role, if you're going to update from here, whether you're a job seeker, consultant, or a community manager. Say I want a consultant, and it will essentially fill out this information, and you can pick target companies that you want to reach out to, or you're thinking about, or you can add a custom company that you want to work with. With that said, then you can import. So obviously a great thing would be that if you could actually import LinkedIn connection directly, but there is the LinkedIn doesn't allow that. I'm still working on that, but you can download your contacts and upload here. So let me see if it works. So for example, here I open and import. It will show me, because I've already imported, it says no new contacts were imported, but there's 1,458 contacts. And then you can also set up your Gmail and calendar integration so that you can essentially track how are you communicating with each of the companies, all of the emails relating to your target companies and meetings. So for example, say if I want to go to message, I go to the companies, it essentially takes me to the tab. It tells me which companies that that I selected. It'll allow me to compose and send an email. So that's, I've tested it, but I don't know, I want to send random emails now. So it'll essentially categorize that. Similarly, if you go to meetings, it should be able to help you set up meetings with various companies as well. And you should see a catalog of those. And then the dashboard is meant to kind of give you all the actions, your target companies, progress, actions, and updated summary. Some of this is still working in dummy data. And then the most important part is the assistant, where you should be able to really ask questions of what's in your network, and then hopefully it updates. Oh yes. And then say, for example, show me the top 10 companies. It'll show you which ones. And so you should be able to ask follow-on questions. Of course, there's a lot more work to be done, and maybe I can go back and see how my new user works. So you can, oh, okay, so that's not working quite yet. So, all right, so that was the concept. There's just a lot to work on.
I think Prema, you're already logged in. If you log out and then click on new user, it should.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
If this is like completely normal for any application.
Yeah. So let's see, get started. Oh, okay. So yes, you'll have an onboarding flow here. So you're a job seeker, you can collect that. Oh, so I'll just say. It'll give you, the commonality order. Obviously, there's a bit more, combinations on how many areas you match that will actually be used in the in the recommendations of your connections. And with that, you can set up. Okay. Well, hopefully that'll work. But yes, so that's kind of where I am.
This was a super complicated project because you took on so many integrations. So amazing job.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. For questions, let's use the chat. We are at 6 minutes. So amazing job. Thank you so much, Prema. And please ask questions in the chat. And next up, we have Colin and then Brian. Colin?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. My idea was born out of personal frustration more than anything else. I have two little kids, 6 and 8, and I spend a lot of my time trying to meal plan. And between sports activities, school, etc., sometimes there's just not a lot of time to do it. I've been looking for something that works, and one thing that I haven't really been able to find is there's a lot of stuff out there for how to prep for meals, etc. But for me, it's a lot of the times it's like, okay, this is what I have in the house or in the fridge, or this is what I just bought. What can I make? And so that's kind of how this idea just started. My hope is to add a little bit more to it. But so the first, I guess my wow would be snap and plan. So how do you use? I'm working, similar to what Nora had said. I'm working on some OCR technology to try and figure out what's the best app to be able to use in order to take a picture. So to add a photo or scan from a receipt. So the intention is I have a receipt from all my groceries, take a picture, and then it would put it in items in my pantry. Let's just load in a second. But as it's loading, essentially take everything that was on that recipe, or sorry, on that receipt, put it in my pantry here, and then I'd be able to say, okay, based on what I have in my pantry, what can I make? So essentially being able to say, these are all the things that are in the house between the fridge and the receipt or the groceries that I just bought. What am I going to be able to do with them? I think as I look into the process of meal planning collectively, the one challenge is how do you create the least amount of friction? Because I think updating a pantry is going to be challenging, which is why it's important to be able to find some technology, whether it's video or pictures, to make sure that that can be updated all the time. But I do think there's a lot of value in just being able to snap a picture of the food items themselves or a receipt and say, hey, here's what I got, help me make something. And then in addition to that, once this gets a little more developed, spend a lot of time as a family just trying to figure out what the week is going to look like, especially with kids sports and all that sort of stuff going on. How can we do better as a family, just planning and taking advantage of being together, instead of worrying about and stressing out about how do we make, what are we going to make and how are we going to do it? So the intention here in this meal planner is to say, okay, based on what I have in my pantry, here's my budget, and then you can update your family size, and which includes, in addition, in updating the family, it includes your dietary restrictions, what the kids like, what I don't like. And then it'll generate a meal plan for you for that week so that you can be better prepared and have less stress about doing that. And my hope is to also, because during the week we decide, do our kids get home lunch or school lunch? And there's some apps with APIs like NutriSlice, what they use at their school, to be able to incorporate that here, to be able to better plan what they're going to have on a daily basis. And then one of the other things that we struggle with is having food that just spoils in the fridge from leftovers. So the intention here is to have leftover to log your leftovers, and then it'll put a time frame on when you need to use those. It looks like it's working right now, but when based on what you have in your leftovers, when you're going to be, oh, here we go. When should you use those by? And then that will inform, some of your recipes or what you're going to cook and when you're going to cook it. So there's still a handful of things to do just on the back end, but my hope is that this is going to help save me and my family a lot of angst in meal planning.
This is super cool. We have some comments in the chat. This is pretty incredible. Colin, had you ever like coded before, ever?
No, I've never coded. Not a lick.
Okay, super cool. Anyone has any questions?
Wasn't there like a recipe maker for like, hey, these are my things, and if it's tracking it, be like, you better make this in the next day or two before things go bad, or else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I run into this all the time. I'm looking at my fridge. I'm like, oh, I did it again. So,
Yeah. And it's frustrating because it's wasteful and yeah, it's expensive.
exactly.
This is brilliant. Great job.
I'll
The UI
just,
looks pretty incredible. Yes,
yeah, I'll
Cassie.
just chime in. Like, I'm ready to use this app, please. So finish it.
Thank you, everyone.
I literally have had the thought of wanting to scan my receipts to just proactively like understand how much I am spending on food. The Costco runs are insane, but I'm also like looking at, price per pound of meat and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm not buying expensively. I'm just buying a lot and I'm using it. And so it's just like this nagging concern. So like, I feel like your app could just really address a lot of things and make me feel more proactive versus reactive with how I'm managing food in our home. We do a lot of cooking, so it's really exciting to see that.
Yep. Amazing, amazing. Okay, awesome. Next up we have Brian, then Trang, followed by Joy. So Brian, let's
Yep.
take it away.
All right. Everybody seeing my screen okay?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Colin. Okay, so we all have our inspiration stories. So in recent time, I've been evaluating for myself career needs in the market. My son just graduated and just got his job, and his girlfriend is going to graduate this next spring and is trying to figure out what she wants to do. And so all this was kind of circling in my head for, is there a way that we could try to come up with a recommendation engine for people at different stages of their career, different types of careers. So what I've got here is loaded up from the 361 careers that were out there able to be pulled in. And the idea here is whether you're an existing seasoned professional trying to figure out could your skills be transferable? Are there other job titles you should think about? Are you early in your career trying to figure out which way to go? And my son, he's in the trades, he's actually a mechanic for United. So I wanted to make sure this didn't just get, kind of geared towards, the professions like, product and engineering and things like that. And so I wanted to have a little variety in here. And so ultimately I'm going to just spare everybody some of the data entry, created the assessment pre-filled. And in this case, I'm using my son's girlfriend as a persona here. She's going to graduate soon. She's got a communications and marketing interest, some internship experience, but still trying to kind of figure out where she wants to go. So right now, there's quite a bit of information collection. Hopefully, I'll be able to streamline this down the road. But the idea is a little bit about you in terms of your education, if you've got any certificates you've achieved, the ability to upload a resume and pull out information from there, and your LinkedIn profile. And then there's a little bit of an assessment here, which is what are your technical skills? So, do you have office and computer skills, or if you're in the trades, different types of trade skills, and a little bit about from a soft skill standpoint, leadership and management and so forth. So you can go through and pick the things that are appropriate for you. And then there's a page here, which is a little bit more about your work preferences. Do you like to work inside or outside? Do you like to work on teams or individually? Are you into leadership or not so much individual contributor? And then last up is just what interests you, in terms of personal interests and industry preferences. Put that in, put in some salary expectations, be reasonable here. And then it'll provide against all the, based on all the information you provided and the jobs that are on profile, some recommended directions that she could go. And in this case, she could read about them, learn a little bit more. Maybe she's interested, oh, digital marketing specialist, that might be cool. She can learn a little bit more about that. If she's interested, she can hit save and come back to that later. And then I wanted to have some kind of engagement things here, so especially for people that are really trying to figure out the next job, what do I need to do to be ready for it? And what are my options? So the first is the recommendations. I intentionally kind of had it cut rather than just giving you everything. It kind of set the best match. And then you can kind of loosen the criteria a little bit, so it's not so strict on your keywords, and you'll pick up a few more jobs that'll be a little bit lower match rate. And then, of course, there's called the Avenger Zone, which will definitely loosen it up. Probably throw in some things that maybe you don't like, but you never know, might spur some ideas you hadn't thought about. And then in terms of, so what do I do? I've got these interests, that's great. So the tool provides some engagement and kind of some structure. So it'll identify some skills gaps that you might need for those jobs and gives you a plan. So, hey, you should take an online course in writing and practice it and get a mentor and join communities and things that you can kind of track for yourself to see how you're making progress towards the things that will help build you for your next job. It provides recommendations, some learning recommendations. So all this is just integrated in. If I want to do writing fundamentals, I can go here, and it goes to Coursera, it goes into LinkedIn Learning. I've seen a lot of different sites that it's sourced to help provide you some structure. And again, all these are things that you can track. Networking, right now, this is through LinkedIn. And so if you were interested in content creator professionals, you can engage here. It just pre-fills a string for searching for that. So you can kind of network with that. It gives you some tips on the different searches you can do. And then, of course, tracking your progress on trying to network here. And again, if you search, it'll just pull up the LinkedIn search, identify anybody that qualifies for that. We're all familiar with that, of course. Report, just PDFs, all the recommendations for you, so you can have a nice handy report down the road. If I'm inclined to monetize this, some of the engagement and reports, maybe things that are kind of walled off, and then save. So if you've got a bunch of jobs and you really want to only focus on a couple, you can have your save search. So right now, that's the extent of the tool. So thanks for the time.
That's amazing, Brian. Super detailed. Great job. We are out of time. We have 30 seconds, so maybe you can take questions in the comments. And yeah, amazing job. And then we have Trang followed by Joy. So Trang, do you wanna go next? And Brian, your UI, by the way, look super cool. Very, very clean, very nice.
Thanks.
Hello. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi everyone, I'm Trang. I spent most of my career building AI native data team. And today I'm super excited to introduce you to Sean AI. Now, the reason I built Sean because I want to solve the number one reason why startup fail. It's not because they're lacking vision or the extreme hard work. It is because the cost of getting data-driven clarity. So Sean is the analyst that you didn't think you can afford. Just drop in the data and then he will handle the rest of it. With that, let's log in and say hi to Sean. So let's just be honest, if you are a founder, the number one reason you don't want to build a financial model is this. It's really time consuming, it's complicated, and unless you are an ex-banker, it's not really your superpower or your cup of tea. However, what you really want to know is how long until I run out of cash? Am I going to get enough revenue for my next fund? What would be the value, lifetime value of my customer? At this very moment, getting these answers today is either long or expensive. you are struggling between making sense of the 10 tab spreadsheets or try to answer if you could fund 100K analysts in your team. So there is a gap that we are solving. Let's get started with Sean's first of many talent, data analysis. So think about this one as your clarity board. It's not just a vanity metric. Those are the same metric that investors use to decide if it make or break your startup. So they are the run rate, revenue, funnel, retention, and unit economics. Each of them gave you a deep understanding about your business and also the very important vital signal about the future success. For our demo today, we're going to asking Sean to do a very critical analysis that every founder needs to be on top of every month, runway. So how it works? You get the template and then you add your bank statement data. After that, you upload into the system and leaving the rest to Sean. So when Sean is working, let's get a little bit into the intelligence behind the speed. So rather than follow the processes of running some formula, actually Sean followed a very due diligence process. First, the AI go into cross-checking of the document that we have about the company, of the document, of the link that we have in the knowledge base, also the context about the business that we are collecting during the onboarding. Next step, and this is a critical part, the results going to be validated against a comprehensive set of rules, just like a seasoned CFO looking at the work of the team. So this is to ensure the product just not being done fast, but bulletproof for the future, for your board or for your investor. Finally, Sean put everything together into the reporting with clear conclusion. So it looked like the report has been done. Let's see what's going on with our runway. Cool. So they're not quite bad news. The runway is 5 months. Now, you better know about this one before your board telling you. More importantly, I think Sean gave you the bottom line. The emergency funding is required immediately. I think this is exactly what the founder need. They don't need another dashboard. They don't need another spreadsheet. What they need is clear clarity, how they can move forward. And this is what Sean's offering. The next stop, let's talk about another key area that take away a lot of founder limited time to build a great product, financial modeling. So in this session, what you will find is the curated model that investors use to test your business. All you need to do is choose a template, you add in your data and the assumptions, and then Sean will get back to you with a CFO level review. So next time, if a fractional CFO is not your best option, I think you can just talk to Sean for this. The next area in the app is what I would love to have as a first-time founder. I don't quite find the best one that worked for me, so I built one myself. This is the go-to resources to build faster. This has all of the curated template of the VC list and the deck that ready to go just in one click away. You can search, filter, and you can find the relevant information here. Sometimes with all of these, you still get stuck. Well, guess what? You can just talk to Sean. So he is available. You can rely on him instantly and at any time. So what I try to do here is building a solution, a complete transformation. What used to take us 10 hours or $10,000, now going to take us 10 minutes and a world-class result quality. This is what I call a human expertise at AI speed. My goal is very simple. I want to hand back every single founder the time to build and the clarity to win. Sean is not just a tool. He's the analyst you didn't think you could afford until now. And that is my app.
Amazing trying and very, very well presented as well. We are out of time, entire 7 minutes. So maybe if anyone has any questions, please post in the chat. And then finally, we have our last demo for the day, uh, Joy. So she is one of our wildcard entries. Joy, if you wanna share your demo.
You. Can everyone hear me? I just want to double check on my sound quality.
Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Let me share my screen. Okay, so to give some context, I come from a marketing background, and this class has been just so amazing because I stumbled into a technical PM role in my career. And now, while I was trying to debug everything, I have found more languages to speak to my engineering team through this whole process. So that has honestly been amazing as like a side bonus. So for my project, I built Next Cinema Playground. I also do acting on the side, and I have always loved the film industry and wanted to be an actress. But it is a very unstructured industry, and unlike career fields where you know that you have to do your resume, your internships, and the path to get to your final professional goal, the acting industry has a lot of things that are very scrappy. And as someone coming in new as a beginner, it is very hard to know what you need to do and what you need to learn in order to progress in your acting career. And so this is supposed to be your gateway to the entertainment industry. And here you're able to learn, network, and also grow your career with more structure and also with personalization. And so here I'm just going to quickly go over what the membership benefits are. So we have a learn section where there's videos from foundation to advanced, where you can start like from step by step from where you are to where you need to go. Then there's the AI powered profiles. And I love this section, but this section is where based on who you are, it will personalize the kind of roles that you can take on, people who are already well known in the industry that you can kind of lean on for inspiration. There's a community feed, which is where actors can post their headshots, their reels, their monologues, whatever it is that they are working on, and get feedback from other working actors. And this is something that is very missing in the current film industry. And then there will be articles and resources. So resources that are very credible from industry insights that can support your learning in the video sections. Industry news, because it's very important to keep up to date on everything that is going on in the industry, because a lot of films and movies reflect what is happening today. And then finally, worksheets and templates. And so this is another part where when you're trying to build up your resume, it will walk you through step by step how you can build that out, how step by step what you need to do in order to do your headshot, step by step what you need to do in order to do your demo reel. And so if we're looking at like the problem we're kind of solving here is a lot of the times with the acting industry, you would take classes, but a lot of the classes are very expensive. So each set of classes you take are around $550 each. And then there's not a lot of ongoing support after those classes. And there's not a lot of support in like the wider acting community when you are taking a single course. And so I really want to be able to make it more accessible for everybody, and make it so that it feels more like a community for people who are aspiring to be actors. And so now I'm going to log in to show you what it looks like.
Joy, you
So if
have
you
a
sign
couple
in,
of minutes.
yes. So if you sign in, you'll see that there is the community feed section. And this is where you can interact with other fellow actors. You can put in text of like maybe sending them a link or like asking a question. You can put in your headshot so people can evaluate your headshot and give you some feedback. You can also put in your demo reels or some of your acting clips to see if anyone has comments on that. The learn section that I'm talking about, previously you have the foundational, intermediate, and advanced. Once you complete them, you can mark it as complete and you can see your progress on the side. If you go to the news section, this is where you can go to all the current news that relate back to you being an actor. That would be good for you to know and good for you to make conversations. And it takes you to different articles. It refreshes every single week. And then you have the article section that has different articles that you can see and a workshop where as you work on each of these pieces, you can check them off so you know which stage you are in your acting journey and career. And then when you download this, once it works, it'll be a template for how you can do each of that steps. So it's instructions for you and really guiding you through that process. And finally, my favorite section, which is the profile section. After you fill in information about your profile, so your height, let me just go through this edit section. If you put in your age range, your location, your height, your build, your eyes, your hair color, your ethnicity, the kind of training you did, it will help to generate this profile section over here. If you go to AI Insights, okay, it is not loading right now. So good thing I have a Loom video that to speed up the process. If you go to here, AI Insights, you'll be able to see that it generates like AI actor lookalikes of people who are similar to you and how they have got into their career, recommended scripts and monologues you can do. And if you have training or you don't have certain training, it'll give you career advice on what type of training you need to get. And this part is very, very customized to who the person is. And so this part is very dynamic. And I think it'll be so, so helpful if I had this starting out as an actor. So yeah, this is Next Cinema Playground. I'm super excited about this idea and it's been on my mind for so long. So I'm really happy that I get to work on this with being a part of this program. So
I love this, Joy. Congratulations. It's great.
This is incredible, Joy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We've got a lot of actors in our circle here in Los Angeles. And so if you need any connections or looking to get in touch with managers even, right? Like that could be a really interesting tool for managers to be able to use with their talent. So
yes,
yeah, one of them is coming to stay at my house this weekend. So maybe I can show them the demo example, but yeah.
yes. Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. And I'm just excited to keep building it out even after this class. Yeah.
There's a lot of room for technology optimization. We created an actors access page for one of my children and oh my goodness, like it's just the tech is wanting.
Yes, like there is like coming from a tech and PM background, and then you're seeing like what can be optimized in the film industry. There is so much potential in the UI front, the UX front, and the back end, the database management, like every single aspect. So I just really want to like slowly be able to make some of those changes. I'm not like pushing for the big guns right now, but like just the little things that can help actors start out.
Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would love to be able to do a discovery call with you, Joy, if possible, and Chong as well. I put a note in here. Like, I think there's so much potential there too. So I'm just. How many votes do we get, Kasim? This is so hard.
So
I'll
Matt,
put this slide deck link again. So if anybody wants to see that, but
So we have one more demo. Sorry, we have one more demo because Matt wasn't here, but he just joined. So he just like Eamon just messaged me. So everyone, please bear with us. I know we had 2 hours reserved for this call, but yeah, sorry, Cassie. Before we started going into voting, we have one last demo. Matt wasn't here, but now he's here. So Matt, do you wanna go ahead and share your demo? This is going to be the last demo. Everyone, please review your notes, review the document that Cassie has shared, and then let's do some and then we'll move on to voting.
Sure.
Sorry.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry. I'm late. I had some pesky calls that I couldn't get out of, but I'm really excited to share what I've been working on. I also want to give a huge thanks to Anas and Muhammad and Taha and Kasim and so many folks who've been so kind and helping me navigate all of the issues. But we're here. We're here. We got through it. So really, really grateful. Can everyone see my screen? Is it showing the right screen?
We see Artie.
We see Artie? All right. Okay. So I'm really excited to kind of share Artie with you. So for those of you I haven't met, I'm Matt McDonald. I spent 12 and a half years at Google. Got to work with some great people like Prema, who's great to see here. And a lot of what I focused on is how do we drive better monetization for the platform. But in that time, we really found that uh, the platform is doing just fine. It's the creators that need more help. And when I've talked to creators, the biggest challenge that they see is they have these massive, massive followings, but aren't making nearly as much money on the dollar relative to the reach they're commanding. And part of that is due to some of the challenges in the way that advertising is structured on a platform level. So it's very much focused on programmatic ads, which favor scale, versus sponsorship ads, which favor depth and sort of integrating at a production level. And so that is the problem that I want to solve. So Artie is fundamentally focused on helping premium long-form creators that over-index on connected TV secure funding before they film with production level integrations of sponsorships. So let me walk you through it. So let's say I have a show called Choices, which I do have. I'm the producer. Choices is a $500,000 production. I have $100,000 that I've raised from friends and family. I plan to distribute it on YouTube. It's a dramedy, and it's targeting the millennial set who is overwhelmed with all the choices they have to make in life. The audience profile, so the behavioral segment that might align with what an advertiser is looking for, is a millennial. I'm launching it in the US and then English speaking Western markets. And my goal is to drive around 500,000 views on sort of a per episode basis over the 30-day reach. And what I'm willing to do as a creator in exchange for sponsorship dollars, I'm willing to show a visible logo, I'm willing to have a product use, and I'm willing to have a product mention. And my goal is I want Artie to find as much money as possible that I can use to then offset the costs of this production. I'm planning to launch October of next year. And I am producing later this fall. So let's upload my script. So I'm going to upload the script to my pilot. And AI is going to find commercial opportunities for me. So it takes the script and then it denotes different areas where it can integrate the different commercial sponsorship formats I just mentioned. And then I can either approve or reject. And then the AI keeps a tracker of the total volume. Now, I really led hard into the spirit of just building an MVP that's not necessarily inclusive of all the features. But my goal is to build natural language processing that's really tailored to how scripts are written, work with screenwriters, work with cinematographers, work with directors who really understand where it does and does not make sense in order to actually integrate. There's something called a line producer whose role it is to go line by line for scripts to do budgeting and to do assessment of costs. And they're my target user for this, where we can really help them fully understand where there's commercial integration points. And then on the demand side, we're going to work with advertisers to take all their buying requirements and then build sort of a real-time bidding system that allows them to, kind of similar to programmatically, plan, buy, and measure ahead of time based on their target reach, their target type of content that they want to integrate into. And then with the metadata tags that we can get from the scripts, essentially build out these blocks. And so the vision is if you, for example, this say thing with drinks, food and beverage is a huge FBR, food, beverage, and restaurants is a huge category. So if Pepsi has sort of a standard buy that they want to spend $50,000 on a millennial targeted show, getting a certain amount of reach, they can bid against these types of searched key terms just like others in their category. And then the density of demand that we can drive will drive up the price. So the goal is to how can we take some of the elements of programmatic advertising that do work really effectively, but then combine that with some native and more creator-centric content workflows that align with sponsorships. So that's the vision for Artie.
I also love another entertainment-oriented one. Congrats, Matt. It's a really, like, I think what Danny said is great. Like the narrow problem, you clearly understand it deeply and understand the roles and the people and have some insights into those opportunities. So I see a lot of success in your future. It's really exciting.
Thank you.
I'll say, Matt, you had me smiling at the front page and then just shocked throughout the rest of it. Just beautifully done.
Oh, thanks so much. I brought my dog to set of a movie. My dog is Artie. And everyone was like, we love your dog. Can she be here all the time? And I'm like, ooh, this is great branding. So the creator's companion, we're here to help you with your creativity. So
Okay, awesome. Sorry. Perfect. Cassie, did you share the doc?
Yeah, link is in. I just reshared it. So it's the link is in the chat. Hopefully everybody can see it. Let me know if you can't. But I just took a screenshot of the front page of everybody's demo. So I hope everybody can go and check that out and peruse and just kind of remember so we don't have recency bias in our voting here, but like just see all of the demos and think about the voting, and I'll pass that off to you.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And sorry, Matt, I hopped off for 1 minute, technical difficulty. So I'm back now. But thank you, everyone, for your demos. This was absolutely amazing. I have to say, and I want to hear from Cassie and Garrett as well. This is probably the most extensive products we've had since the last 3 cohorts. So amazing job. Cassie, do you want to say a couple of words and then we'll get into our voting?
I'm just inspired, honestly. Like it's so amazing. Again, I'm a tech person, I've been a product for forever. And I'm so like for the entertainment ones, I have a bunch of friends in entertainment. I live in Los Angeles and people are moving left and right because the economy's in the tank and it's just a mess right now. And it's just seeing this for me is just like a shine of like a little bit of inspiration of okay, like I want to share this with people I know in industry and be like, there's so much potential if you see a problem and you understand it well. And I think that Joy and Matt really showed that. And I'm so excited to see people that are unexpected be building. And in this cohort, especially, there's so many people that aren't like native techies. And that just gets me really curious and excited about the potential in the future for how what's happening here is going to change the world. And Kasim and team, making this so accessible to everybody. And like Arinze, the med student, right? Like Colin, like deal guy at Netflix, not the tech guy, it's just there's a lot of inspiration with that, I think, for me. And I hope for all of you too, to see how much everybody else has built and just to even know this is 2.5 weeks and first ideas. Like, hello, I'm so excited to see what else people can build and bring, really drive some commercial success with potentially as well. So congrats to everyone.
Yep. Congrats, everyone. With that, let's move to our voting. Eamon, if you can pull up the votes. Awesome. So everyone, let's please vote. Let's give it a couple of minutes, think through it, and let's see who we get as our winners.
Is Matt on this list?
Eamon, Matt is not on the list. So we will restart this.
Okay, let me just end this and give me a
Yeah.
second to edit.
Yep. Let's restart it.
This is really hard to vote. Just saying.
Yeah, I feel like Kasim was so nice in this boot camp, unlike in boot camp 2, and then he just showed his force in this one vote only. Well done.
Otherwise, everyone would have voted for all. So, so let's. Okay, we have it live now.
Perfect. Yeah, 12 slides in the slide deck, 12 voting options.
But which one do we pick? That is the question.
I have my clear winner.
Okay, let's give it a couple of minutes. So, Eamon, when you think you have everyone's votes, just let us know. Okay, I think people are still voting. Eamon, do we have all the votes? Let's give it 30 more seconds and then we can just see what the final results are. Send them to me and I will announce them. Okay, we have our results. We need drum roll somehow. Okay, let's start from number third. The results are in. So third person throughout these 2.5 weeks is Colin. So congratulations, Colin. Amazing job. You were voted number third. Next up, we have second, which is someone who almost missed this session. It's Matt. So, Matt, congratulations on being second. And then finally, the winner of SnapDev cohort 3 is Nora, who presented first. So congratulations, Nora. Amazing job. So I did not say this before, but Nora was the one that used the least amount of engineering hours as well in this cohort. So one of the least amount of engineering hours. So with that, Eamon will reach out to you with your prizes. Matt, you missed the session, so you will get a month free subscription. So you'll get more engineering support and you'll continue getting access for the next month, API keys, etc. And yeah, hopefully this was an awesome experience for everyone. Please DM me, give me your feedback. Fill out the feedback form. We will pause on the Claude APIs later tonight, 11:59 p.m. But apart from that, if you've not used engineering support, you have it by the end of this week. And you also get Gemini in case you want to use it to continue building. With that, Gal, do you want to say a few words?
I just have one request from everyone. This was so amazing. It was literally my biggest excitement for this week, to get to. I ask that every single one of you that built amazing products, and seriously, everything was so inspiring, please continue to update us on how it's going in the channels. I would personally love to see every single one of them and the progress. Please do.
Yes. And please share your experience on LinkedIn. That really, really helps us spread the word around. So that would be super, super helpful. And with that, Garrett, if you want to say any final words, and then that concludes our cohort number 3.
Yeah, it's always fun going through these and seeing everyone's progress. There's like the journey that everyone goes through of the excitement, the aha moment, and then the front end, and then the stress and strain of the back end, and that holy crap, what am I doing? Do I even know how this is going to work? Am I going to be able to get it done in time? And we're here as facilitators going, I wonder how many can complete by the 2.5 week mark. I know it's a push. We'll see. And so we're going through all these emotions and dynamics, and then to get to the finish line, have all the community and the help and support and communication throughout the way, and then see these amazing projects is so fun and a big part of why we do what we do here. And it just goes to show, I think, the power of the community that SnapDev is offering and giving as a part of it. It just makes it so much more enjoyable to build and learn at the same time. And I'm super excited to see where everyone takes their projects. So thank you for joining and being a part of it and building awesome things.
Awesome. Cassie?
Yeah, I just want to put one plug for a note in our Slack, which is that I am going to be writing a Substack article, and I've been slacking with Deb Liu, and so we're going to cross post on her amazing Substack as well. So if people are interested in sharing a little bit about their personal journey here and what this experience was like for them and their shifts or takeaways, please, it's in the Amplify channel in Slack, and just drop a note because, yeah, I'm just so excited. There's so much fun stories here to be able to share with people if people are open to that.
Yep, amazing. Awesome. So everyone who wants to continue building, please do subscribe to our memberships. They are on the website. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me or Sama. And with that, thank you. Thank you everyone for being a part of this. This was awesome.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you.
Bye bye,
Thank you
everyone.
all.